watch y'all while we were in school getting our degrees or whatever. It just helped to have a family network too. So not only deciding gender roles within the household, but in village, who's your village? Like,
Right. And that's important.
yeah, that's really important when rearing kids and trying to figure out the best place for them to be while you do try to advance yourself in your career, if that's a thing you want to do. I mean, if you take on the traditional roles, then of course the mother would be home with
Hmm.
the kids while the dad is trying to do career advancement type.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take everybody all the way back to one that I used to like to hear at the skate ring for listening to. We're JJ Fad and we're here to rock.
Please understand that everything I say on social media, I would actually say aloud.
But we love to laugh about things like that. But then that's somebody else's life becoming my entertainment. Because we should practice this.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of We Listen and We Judge. We know it's been a break. So sorry we missed you, but we are back. And we're back in person together. Usually we have to do the Zoom a little bit, but it's good to, be together on the couch. And hopefully it gives you some good vibes. So today we are actually talking gender roles. Yes. We want to know, what do people feel about gender roles? How do we feel about gender roles? Do we still believe in them? Are we saying no to them as a society? And I'm just pondering this. It's a big topic on social media, but once you get into a relationship and you start talking about the dynamics and what you want to do and how you want to live and what roles you take on in the household, it kind of comes up and you just start pondering. So I did ask my person, like, how do you feel about gender roles? And he threw it back, well, how do you feel about gender roles? So I thought it'd be fun to talk on the pod today. Okay, for me, I think they had a purpose in the past because women couldn't work. Women couldn't have their own bank accounts till maybe around 1970s or something like that, or they couldn't have credit cards. So it was very hard for it not to be, okay, the woman is going to run the household and the man is going to make the money. I believe around, well, let me say this. Black women always work, actually. It's a little different for us because we had slavery, then we had housework, and a lot of women became maids and nannies for richer or well-to-do white women, and then we got into the workforce eventually. But for the most part, Black women did work. As for other races, they had more of the traditional stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom, and they took care of the household, and the man began to go to work and take care of the money part. Then World War II, I believe, is when white women started going to the workforce. They started taking over in the factories. They started doing other jobs. I think we touched on this again when we were talking about the Gilded Age, where it shows like all the women in society, but one of the women, she was actually the engineer and she was covering for her husband because he was sick. And they said if people knew a woman made the bridge, nobody would want to walk it. And then how the main character, her aunt, did not want her to work because it made him seem poor if she worked.
Right.
And she wanted to be a teacher and she wanted to do other stuff. But then Peggy, who did come from a well-to-do family, her mom, I don't think her mom actually had a job, but her dad was a pharmacist. She worked and it was no problem. She was a writer. She also, what else? Oh, she also worked for, the family. So it was not taboo for Black women to ever have a job, but it was more taboo for white women, especially in high societies, to have a job. So now we move to 2026. If you don't have a job, you're probably struggling. Some people need 2, 3, 4 jobs, regardless of if it's a woman, if it's a man. Pretty much everybody is contributing to the household, even in, you know, rich and wealthy, well-to-do families. If you look at it, some of the most well-off business owners and entrepreneurs like the Bill Gates and the Jeff Bezos, even the wives that they had, they worked. They came from, not necessarily high society, but they came from high educational backgrounds. They had jobs. They were, you know, just prominent in the business field. So I think now it is not it doesn't really make sense to have traditional gender roles. That's just my opinion. I don't foresee myself getting into the house and not having a job. I feel like I've worked my way up to a certain career, to a certain salary, that if I'm not doing anything and I'm not doing that career, I don't really feel like I contribute as much as I should. And maybe that's a backwards mindset. I don't have anything against the trad wife, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like the best way to contribute is to have a career and have money.
You don't have anything against the what kind of wife?
Trad wife. So it's the term that's on social media. It's just short for traditional wife. You know how everybody just, shortens things and slang and like what is it called? When people say Riz, that's actually charisma. So they just come up with these little nicknames. Yeah, trad wife is traditional wife.
It's hilarious because in education we often get accused of having acronyms for everything. A lot of people don't know what our acronyms mean.
Right.
I think social media probably have us beat on the acronyms because I'm like, what?
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, Social Security. Have had them for a while. In
Okay.
fact, because I've worked for so long,
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if I didn't work outside the home because I also do work inside the home.
Mhm.
I don't have self. Sometimes I want to hire somebody to come clean the window, but then I'm so used to my mom having us do, spring cleaning, winter cleaning. Like we always clean the windows, clean the baseboards, and then somebody asked me like, "What are you gonna do in your break?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna clean my baseboards." And that's just
Yeah.
kind of what I'm used to.
Mhm.
Do I expect my husband to clean the baseboards and help clean windows? No, I mean, because that's just what we did growing up.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't have any negativity one way or the other. I think if someone wants to be a would you have a trad wife?
Yeah.
That's funny. If someone wants to be a traditional household where the man goes out, make the money, the wife stays home, rears the children. And I don't think that's per se a bad thing, as long as the kids are learning, being respectful, and then learning how to contribute to the household.
Mhm.
Um And then both roles working and both roles cooking and cleaning. I think that's okay too. I think that's kind of like a win-win because nobody feels overworked or
Mhm.
overexerted if both household members help keep the house tidy, if both members clean
Right.
and help with children or whatever.
Yeah.
I think as long as it's a 50-50, then no one feels like a sacrificial lamb where everybody is bringing in money, but then everybody is also contributing to the upkeep of the household.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely believe in double standards. I know I'm probably gonna get slandered for this, but there are certain things I do believe in when it comes to gender roles. And they're usually things that I don't wanna do, like, the man needs to take out the trash. I know I can take out the trash, and I live alone, so I do have it, but I also have valet service, so I'm not just going down to the trash can like that, I just have somebody come pick it up. But when I start living with my person and we get married, like, the trash is your domain. The outside, if we have a yard, that's your domain. I'm okay with cleaning and cooking, but I do have a person that also likes to cook and clean too, so that's helpful. So I'm okay with that. But then there are certain aspects where I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be making more money than me, you're probably gonna be paying more of the bills too. We've kind of already had discussions surrounding that, and it's not like I'm not wanting to contribute at all, but with our career trajectory and the fact that men get paid more most of the time, he will probably be the higher earner when it's all said and done. So I don't necessarily think I should be the one like going 50-50. I'm okay with like 70-30, and he seems to be okay with that too. It's just there are some things where I'm like, okay, let me pull out my double standard card. Because even with when we're not in a traditional gender role society, women are still looked at more as to clean the house and to cook more. And then throwing kids in the mix is another thing why I understand the girls that say it's never going to be 50-50 because you're looked at as the mother, the maternal instincts. You're supposed to take care of the kids, and then a man just mostly comes in and does whatever he wants to, but it's like, oh, the man has to just be in the household. He don't really have to take care of the babies. That's why I've always also been against like having kids. Because it always seems like the mom is more pressured to take care of the children than the men too. So I just personally have some double standards that I know are not right. But if it is where we're equally contributing, say we do have a child and he gets up and stays with the baby, and I get up and stay with the baby, and it's split evenly. It's not where I'm feeling more stress. I can go out and have some relief. He can go out and have some relief. We can get a sitter. We can get somebody to help with cleaning. Then I'll be more open to, okay, we can contribute equally. But if I feel like I'm taking on more of the burden with the child, as well as the taking care of the house, you got to put more money into the pot. That's just where I'm at right now. Yeah.
I know that's a lot.
I thought about it a long time, I'm not gonna lie.
You know, and everything I say now is kind of from an empty nester's perspective because
Mhm.
I've been an empty nester since 2018.
Mhm.
It's 2026. I hope I'm doing math right. No, 8 years. Just kidding.
Yeah, 8
Uh,
years. Yeah.
8 years as an empty nester. I mean, my perspective is different.
Yeah.
I have to think back now. I guess this conversation is forcing me to try to reminisce because it's been 8 years.
Yeah.
We've had anybody in the house, or rearing children. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm trying to think back. Maybe I probably was with you guys and more when you all got sick. My grandma was still alive, so she helped out a lot too. And
Mhm.
then when Mama retired, she helped a lot too. So I don't remember having to take off more than your dad. I think we shared some burdens. I did do the taking to the doctor though. I
Mhm.
did that the most, and that's just because I kind of am. So I
Mhm.
want to hear what the doctor has to say anyway, and how what the care plan is going to be. So I did take those roles on a little bit more heavier, and I think usually that is on the mother when it comes to getting children from point A to point B. That's why they call it the mom van or what it's got soccer mom.
Yeah, soccer mom.
Because moms usually are
Soccer moms, tiger moms.
picking up children, taking
Yeah.
them from here and there. It's been 8 years since we've had kids in the house. So it's just kind of hard to remember, what those general everything is kind of 50-50 now.
Right, yeah. That's definitely true. And honestly, I think how it should be is, you know, everybody is a team player.
Yeah.
Whatever is needed, the person should be able to step in. That's realistically how it should be. But the point of gender roles really is because we know men as society, they not really nurturers. They're really just like, "Oh, you fell and broke your head. Let me put a Band-Aid on it. You'll be okay." Literally, your dad would tell you, "Oh, you'll be alright. You'll be alright." Whereas your mom is like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? What do we need to do?" Right, exactly. Like, your mom will know your allergies, your dad will know not what to feed you, but you say you don't eat something, they're like, "Oh, you ate this when you was growing up." And it's actually, "No, we didn't. We did not eat this growing up. You're just not remembering it correctly." So sometimes it's just about we know how men are, and most of them deduce themselves to just being the bank of America or the bank of the family. Just to be honest, they could contribute more emotionally and just be more nurturers, but they deduce it to, oh, well, I can just pay for this or I can just give you money for this. They don't really want to tap into the emotional feelings part. So that's what it becomes. They don't have to take on that role, in my opinion. I think more men can be more so concerned about going to the doctor with their children or taking off for the field trips. Even at work, someone was telling, like, my son really wanted me to go to his, uh, what is it called? Field day. And he actually, took off just to see him. He specifically wanted his dad to do that. And I thought that was great. And I'm glad we have a workplace where people can be more open to go
Yeah.
and be with their children. That's another part of it is like the man is looked at. I will give them that grace. Men are looked at to provide. Now, they did make up this patriarchal society where it's all about the money and how much you are worth is how much of your manhood. That's something they created, in my opinion. But now that we're reversing it, it's time for them to step up and do more of the emotional support. So in my opinion, I think the workplaces have to reflect that, especially like with paternity leave too. Maternity leave, women get way more time. They get paid for it. Even at my job, like the men can take the time if they're hourly, but they don't necessarily get paid for it. And that's hard. As a man, you're looked at to provide for your family. So if you can't make the money to provide, you're going to be more reluctant to take off. So when the workplace starts supporting men to be able to leave and be with their babies and bond more, and I think we can also see another change. And so shout out to those workplaces that have those options and see men more as just the money. They need to be there with their children too and give them the support to be there as well.
Yeah, I'm starting to see those types of policies
Right.
for men as
Mhm.
well. It was a time in education when that policy didn't even exist for women, though.
Right,
They had to
exactly.
use their bank of approved sick leave in
Mhm.
order to take maternity leave, and then once you ran out, you were on unpaid leave through FMLA. But because
Mhm.
Daniel was born right before I started teaching, and so my previous career, I had 6 weeks of maternity leave, and I could couple it with the 6 weeks of maternity leave and then whatever vacation time I had. So I was actually off for a couple of months
Right.
with maternity leave, and it was all paid. So
Mm.
once I came to education and people were like, "Yeah, you usually sick leave for maternity leave," I was like, "Wow."
Yeah. That's but
Oh,
even 6 weeks is crazy, like, 1 month or 2 weeks to have with your baby. I honestly feel like it should be at least 3
well,
months.
like I said, I
Mm,
had the sick vacation time,
yeah.
so I actually did have 2 months.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I think 3 months at a minimum is good, honestly, because those are the first few months that's very crucial for the baby, like and then think about it, do you really trust people to be around your baby that young when they can't talk and they can't say, "Mom, hey, this happened," or blah, blah, blah. So that's another reason why it comes into, like, okay, I'll go to work, and then you stay home with the children, and then daycare is also super expensive, they don't make it easy for and that's another thing I'm thinking about too. Like I'm considering having a child for the first time in my life, and all these negative things are coming through my head, not the positive. So I'm thinking about daycare and what if you leave somebody with your baby and they're evil and yeah, I know.
By the time she got to a place where she couldn't keep you, I think you were pre-K, and so you only had maybe like a year in daycare, yep, a whole year. And then we had found such good daycare that when Daniel was born, he could just go to that
Mhm.
same place. And like I said, I had a couple of months with them. I think he went at like 3 months. Anytime he'd have like a ear infection or whatever, then grandma could keep him.
Mhm.
I'd take him to the doctor. Grandma would get him, and then I'd go to work. So I didn't miss a lot of work
Mhm.
when you guys were growing up because she was so instrumental. And then my parents, they weren't retired at the time, but when I was getting my master's and my doctorate degree and all the things, they would help out. And then your other grandma would help out and watch out while we were in school getting our degrees or whatever. It just helped to have a family network too. So not only deciding gender roles within the household, but in village, who's your village? Like,
Right. And
yeah,
that's important.
yeah, that's really important when um, rearing kids and trying to figure out the best place for them to be while you do try to advance yourself in your career, if that's a thing you want to do. I mean, if you take on the traditional roles, then of course the mother would be home with
Mhm.
the kids while the dad is trying to do career advancement type.
Yeah. One thing I see about social media is a lot of women are like, "Oh, I wanna be a stay-at-home wife, and then I can start my business." If you start a business, you're not a stay-at-home wife. You're now just an entrepreneur. And now if you're just starting a vanity business where it looks like you're doing something so you can call yourself the girl boss, that's one thing. But if you're actually working and trying to get this business profitable and okay, your husband is taking care of the income until you make a profit, you're still not a stay-at-home wife. You're actually working. In fact, the thing is, entrepreneurs work a lot harder than people who work 9 to 5s. The 9 to 5 can be difficult. It can be annoying, especially when I'm just gonna say this. When you're in HR, you get calls all the time sometimes. So it's like you almost don't have a day off. But then that time where everybody's good, everybody got paid, usually on Friday, and you don't hear from nobody, you can enjoy your day. It's really a lot harder to have your own business and try to make a profit, try to get over that red into the black line. So I think the mindset is backwards when it comes to the stay-at-home wife thing. If you really are a stay-at-home wife, that means you do not have any income outside of the person that you're married to. And that's something that's very scary for anybody. It's kind of almost being a dependent again. And that's another reason that is triggering for me that I don't think I could ever do it because I like to spend my money how I spend it. I don't really want somebody telling me what to do and when I gotta be budgeting and when I gotta be frugal. That just don't seem right to me. So I don't know. Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about it until this conversation.
Yeah.
I've worked for let me get my math right. This is
Yeah.
35 years. Stay home.
Yeah.
If it was feasible or possible.
Yeah.
I did look into retirement and I talked to a lady at TRS. She was really nice.
Mhm.
And by the time she and I and she laughed and it did sound like I was trapped in a prison. But it didn't really it made sense to me at the time when I thought about early retirement.
Mhm.
But then after talking to her, airtime that I would have to purchase, it just didn't make sense to spend that kind of money
Yeah.
to stop early.
Yeah. Yeah, you're almost at the finish line, so
You know,
yeah. If y'all watch, comment, like, and subscribe, we can get paid. And then this can be your main income. And you can use this money to invest, but y'all ain't trying to do that. Nah,
Anyway.
I'm kidding. We appreciate everybody who does watch it tune in.
And even if I did, so I probably just won't stop. Even
Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to ponder is stay at home dads.
do I
People,
think about that?
yeah, what do you think about that? I think people give them a bad rap and they say the man is weak if he's staying home with his kids, but I see nothing wrong with it if that's just the dynamic of the family. I don't know if I necessarily could do it, but I don't know. If I was making a lot of money, like out earning my partner and they were just not egotistical and they weren't trying to punish me for my success, they really were genuinely happy about it, then I think I could do it. But at the same time, my partner is very ambitious and in the medical field and wants to save people's lives. So I don't think I have to worry about that.
Stay at home dad, as long as
Yeah.
and if there's children involved, if everybody's happy and healthy, or vice versa. And if the man didn't feel am I saying this right? Demasculated.
Emasculated or yeah.
Yeah, in any kind of way.
Yeah.
As long as it's not causing arguments or
It can't be because he's lazy and can't get a job. You gonna have a job if we need the money. I can't do a man that don't have a job. And I really learned after being with a partner that was not ambitious that it's just really hard to be with somebody that doesn't have ambition to do anything. So that's why but if taking care of kids and making sure everybody is great and caretaker is their ambition and they're just really good at being nurturing, that's something I can think about, you know? That's just how I see it.
purpose and intent always matters.
Right.
If
Correct.
everybody's happy, I feel like then gender roles shouldn't matter as long as everything that's important to the family is taken care of.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we concluded that we think you should say no to gender roles. I put an asterisk by that though, because of my double standards. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Every now and then now I do get in the notion of cooking. That's why
Yeah. So is there anything you're listening to?
TV show wise,
Mhm.
we have started watching this series on Netflix called Fatal Seduction,
Okay.
and it's out of South Africa, and it's two brothers, and
Sound like Lori Harvey mama.
it's a lot of oh Lord. It's a lot of I guess suspense what's going on in it. You just have to watch it. I don't wanna give away the
Mm.
plot, but I think it's interesting. You do have to, like, watch because you have to look at the subtitles because sometimes they mix English and something else. And
Mhm.
I meant to look up to see, like, what other language would they be speaking.
Mm.
Sometimes it's English and you can follow, but then they start saying other things, and you either have to use context clues and get the gist of it, or you're gonna have to watch the subtitles. But
Yeah.
it's really good. We have made it to season 2. Um, yeah, I suggest to the listeners out there, some of those films or those shows in Africa be really good, and they're really good actors.
Mhm.
So we've enjoyed, watching that. I started a show called Bandi. It might be Bandy. Phonetically, it looks like it should be Bandy. But
Mm.
anyway, it's about some kids who, their mom died and their dad wasn't present in their life either. And, they're trying to keep all the children together and not have to go live with an auntie or go into social services.
Is it based on the Boxcar Children book?
I don't know. It's set out of it's another one that's
Oh, okay.
but anyway, that's on Netflix as well. But I only saw one episode of that, so I can't really speak too much on that yet. But I can say Fatal Seduction is a good watch. So that's what I've been listening to. What about you?
Well, I got 2 things. One is music, so 5500 Degrees by STG. I've been on my rap music kick
What's
lately.
their name?
ESTG. ESTG. Yeah, so it came out in 2021, but I saw it on somebody's post. I think LaMelo on one of his highlight reels. I was like, oh, this song hard. So I started listening to it and I added it to my workout playlist. And I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. Well, almost every morning. Pretty much out of the 7-day week, I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning about 4 to 5 days to go work out. So I really need some hard music. So if y'all got any recommendations to keep me pumped up, because I walk to the Y from where I live and everything. So I just need to stay pumped. Well, then my other listening to is a movie. Went to go see You, Me, and Tuscany on a little romantic vibe. This man couldn't tell nobody nothing about the movie, so I don't know if he enjoyed it, but I did.
Yeah,
Ah,
because you wanted to go.
yes, because it was date night, and we gotta support Black films. We gotta support Black people so we can get more. And if I ever get the courage to maybe go into acting one day, I want there to be some movies I could go audition for. So I did go see this. I love Holly in it. She was really good, very cute. It was kind of funny because, she was not having her life together, very flighty. Then she go to Italy and kind of flourish a little bit and get back into her craft. But it's just important. The movie was not just about romantic love, and that's what I love too. It was about like familial love. Like she found a family, she found a home, she found belonging, she had love for her passion of cooking. So go support the girls. And of course, the guy, the lead character, he's so cute. He was in Bridgerton, so it's the eye candy for the ladies as well. So y'all go support You, Me, and Tuscany. And of course, we didn't get paid to say this, so like nobody's paying us. But I really think you should watch the movie.
Michael's out. I have
Oh
I haven't had a
yeah,
chance to go see it. We've had a lot on lately. Every week we do something, so we
yeah,
hadn't had a chance to go. I've seen some,
yeah.
but anyway, we had a
Hopefully,
chance.
okay. Hopefully, it's good. All right. Do you have any judging you?
No questions.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah. So, well, people been asking you this question too, so I don't know why you. Yeah, yeah. People keep asking to be on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's. I don't think we have anything against people being on the podcast. We haven't really had a real guest. I did a bonus episode with one of my friends about reality TV. That was more to chop it up because we talked for 2 full hours and only showed like 1 hour of it. But the thing about it is, when you ask, you really should be a subscriber. You should be supporting. You should be sharing. You should be commenting because why do you wanna go on a podcast that nobody watches or something like that, that you don't even really watch or you don't even know about? Like I said, it's no shade. It's very actually nice that people want to come and chop it up with us, but at the same time, you should be a supporter. And it doesn't mean you have to be a diehard fan. We're not looking for fans. We just do need support. We need people to comment, subscribe, like, and share. And if you're not doing that, it really doesn't make sense to ask to be on the show. That's just a disclaimer. So please, yeah, I hope you are, but also, that's another thing. Don't joke with me if I don't really know you like that. I'm not gonna get the joke if we don't have a good rapport. Yeah. So that's all I got. But hopefully we see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share. We have Instagram, we have TikTok. Watch the episodes on YouTube. We post to our Facebook as well. So we hope to hear from you and see you soon. Right. Drop a comment, let us know, and let me know what music I should be listening to stay up in the morning at 5 a.m.